Hey guys, and welcome to Central Gaming, and today we're going to be playing Forza Horizon 3 on the epic Xbox One S. This Xbox One S is 40% smaller than the One. It's cool, it's not making any noise, it's completely silent. So what I thought we'd start is a new series on Forza. You've seen all the other YouTubers doing Let's Plays, so what we're going to be doing, we're going to do builds as well as myth-busting. So this myth-busting episode is, can you do a wheelie in Forza? Now, so what we're going to start with the Dodge Charger, the RT, the 1969 edition. Of course, we had to put the Dukes of Hazzard livery all over it. Now, upgrades we can already do a body kit preset, which stacks a massive turbocharger on it. It does basically look kind of cool, but what I want to do it myself. So, what we're going to be doing, we're going to be putting a supercharger on it. So we don't want turbos, we want the supercharger. As you can see, it comes in at a better RPM on the graph there. We're also not going to be getting it four-wheel drive because, of course, we want the rear so the front lifts it up. Now, we can stick a better V8 in it for better acceleration. It does improve the acceleration a little bit, but it's not too much that we need to worry about. So we're going to keep that V8, and of course we have to put the little. Actually, no, we're going to take the splitter off because that does affect downforce and keeps it stuck on the road. We're going to put a rear spoiler on it, and of course we've got to put the massive blower on it. That's something you have to do when you get a muscle car on Forza. Now the wheels, so we're going to go for super fat and sticky tyres. So that's, oh, wrong ones. So we're going to go for the grippy race tyres. Now on the front, we're going to leave it at stock tread. Now the reason for that, the stock wetness is slightly smaller, and the rear we're going to go for as fat as we can. And we don't really need special rims on it or anything, so we're just going to leave it like that. The clutch, obviously we're going to have to change all the clutch so it does shift better. Prop shaft so it gets the drive, everything we need to make better, just so it could handle that power from the massive supercharger. This was quite an expensive car to buy. I think it was 110k, which is kind of expensive for a car. I don't. Now suspension. We're not going to put race suspension on it. We're going to leave it stock suspension. And what we should do, if it doesn't wheelie, we'll come in and put the race suspension on and see if that does anything. We don't need the roll cage. It adds too much weight. Weight reduce. There we go. Now engine. This is the bit we want. So obviously the usual carburetors, injections, exhaust systems. Now if you're wondering why don't we do a Fast and Furious build, now the reason for this, the Fast and Furious car, even though it was made up of loads of different, it was made of the 68, the 69 and the 70 Charger, it actually looks more like the 1970s Charger, so it hasn't got the same look as the 69 Supercharger. Here we go, that is a power increase. What? Why did that reduce our acceleration? Right, what? Why does an intercooler reduce your acceleration? Anyhow, that reduces it as well. Actually, no, it doesn't. It's lying. Better flywheel. See how much power we've actually got in this thing? 949 brake horsepower, all going through the rear wheels. That was 66,000 to buy. Not too bad, along with 110,000 for the car. So it's 170,000 around for this car. Now, here's the thing, we've got to do some tuning on this car. So the tuning, we're also going to be doing Mythbusters on tuning, so we can show you how it gets done. So we're going to smack as much PSI as we can in the rear. Now I think this is going to help. Underneath the speed, when you did that, it helped it launch. And we've also lowering this, so you want better, still on 3.9, so we can get this gearing done. So we are going to do a myth-busting episode on the gearing. That made it worse. That actually made it worse. So hopefully, I had actually done one car where it wouldn't even get to 60. It was absolutely an insane beast. So what we're going to do, we're going to put it all back to stock, apart from the final drive at the top. Now the reason for this is we just want it to launch really quick. So we don't want it to be some mad car. We just need it to launch quite good. That's all we need from this car. 4.1 seconds, come on. I want to get back to that 3.9 we saw before. There we go. Alignment, so we're just going to keep it all the same. I think we'll need we can't actually change the springs. Dampening, obviously. Aero, we can't. Try and get a bit the brakes. Now, I don't think we'll need anything like that. So we're going to apply this tuning setup to this car. And we're obviously going to leave the festival. The leaving the festival is kind of annoying on this game because you just hit B and you're away. So there we go. Let's rev this car up. Ooh. Right, so let's line this up. It didn't wheelie then, but it did do a massive... Let's move out of this. No, they're moving for us. So that. We're on the right. Let's see if we can wheel it. Oh, it launched! Did you see that? The suspension. So, what we need to do now is go and put some suspension on it, which was our first fear. We're trying to get this to wheelie. As you know, I do not roll with traction control. These cars didn't come with traction control, so why even use it? Yes, it has 949 brake horsepower at the wheels, but it's a Charger. It doesn't need traction control. I don't know why it's got 6 gears. I think it's because we did put the race gearbox in. So let's go and spend some more money on actually putting the suspension in, which we probably should have done in the first place. Not the rally suspension, so we need the race suspension. We're going to view the basket. Racing dampers, purchase, that's another 2,000, not too much, actually lowers the weight as well. And we're going to stiffen up the whole system. Right, so let's go down to the tuning again. There it is. Also going to be doing more Mythbusters on barn finds. We're going to be doing everything, anything you want. We will try and get that Mythbuster. So we're going to also go for full PSI on the front as well, to go mental, and the springs. Stiff as anything, the front. We need the rear to bog down a bit, so we're going to apply it like that. I've never tried to wheelie a car apart from a need for speed. I'm going to roll out slowly. Ooh, little bit of RPM and we wheel spinning, that's what supercharger does. So. Woohoo! Massive wheel spin. Don't think that actually helped us any kind of way. I think the rear needs to be softer and the front needs to have less PSI in it, so we can do the tuning from this little centre here. So tune the car. So we're going to lower the PSI at the back down past it. Well, it usually is at the rear. Do we want rear PSI? Alright, we're going to go for full PSI at the rear and hardly any at the front. See what that does, and if it doesn't work, we're going to switch it around. And then the springs, I'm going to go for soft at the rear. The ride height at the front we need low, the rear we need a bit of rake on the actual ride height. Let's see what that's done to the car. Hasn't really added much rake to it, which we wanted. It's still not launching on, if you actually look, it doesn't launch at all onto the rear. It jolts back a little tiny bit, so we're going to change the rake a lot more. So I'm thinking high PSI at the front, quite low PSI, above average, 25 PSI I'm reckoning at the rear. So like that, and then the springs, we need soft at the rear, very soft. We want stiff at the front so it brings up the car. And we're going to whack up and see if we can actually see any rake difference in the car. There, bit of rake, can you see that? There was nothing there. The car doesn't even roll back onto its rear. It's kind of strange. It's a strange system. It doesn't want to. It's very stiff. It's a good drifter, I'll give it that. But looking at the rear, I can't see any PSI difference from the front. They should be sloppy and all over the road. But they're just digging in. So far, this miss isn't going too well. About being able to wheelie your cars. So we need hardly any PSI. We're going to go for as low as we can. 15 PSI, that's nothing. And springs, we want as soft as we can, I think. And if this doesn't work, we're going to switch up the springs and see what that does. Right, here we go. See how well the springs will burn out. Woo! That is one good burnout, I'll give it that. It launched a little tiny bit, but then it gripped and just went. What we're trying to do is replicate, like in Fast and Furious, when he launched his Charger and it did that massive wheelie against the Super. That was insane. But we can't get this thing to wheelie at all, and it's got 949 brake horsepower. So we're going to change up the springs, the spring system in this, and see what we can do. There is nothing we can do. Anti-roll, no, we don't need. So let's put them soft at the front and hard at the back and see what that does. The rake we're going to keep the same because that's just the usual drag rake. If this doesn't work, then we're going to switch up the tyre pressure, and then I think that probably is myth busted on this one. Apply the setup. Let's see what it looks like now. What, it looks higher at the rear now. It's a bit... There was nothing there. Nothing there. We're whooping transits. Woo! Probably not a quarter-mile car because of the wheel spin. But it is an insane, insane car. Absolutely insane. That is an insane car. Right, so let's go and change up the tune on the tyre pressure. See if we can do anything. Really low tyre pressure at the front, high tyre pressure at the back, which is what you had to do in Need for Speed. So let's see what that does. See if we can see any difference in the way the car looks. I can't see much difference. It seems as if this car doesn't want to wheelie at all. It jolts back a little tiny bit, and then that is it. So I think the myth is busted on this one. I believe that you cannot get a car in this game to wheelie. If you can, please comment below on your setup, and I will try and replicate that setup so we can see the wheeling happen. Just one more attempt. We're going to line up with the track. So I'm going to spin it round so we're going straight. It even wheel spins at little tiny RPM. It's insane. Line up with the track. Line this beast up. Now we're going to wheelie. We're going to see it. There's no wheelie there at all. We have got a massive burnout there. Can we control it? We can. Let's see what we can get up to before we reach the Forza, the little festival. We've touched the Lambo. Oh, there's a tree in our way. Well, that is myth busted, guys. Thanks for watching. I hope this helped you if you're ever trying to wheelie. We cannot get this car to wheelie. We've tried multiple setups. If you've got a setup and can get a car to wheelie, please comment below. I've been Ace Gaming. Please like, comment, and if you want more Forza content, please subscribe.